This is Coach Lee with myexpatcoach.com, and I'm going to talk to you today about stubborn exes. And the question I get a lot is, will the no contact rule work if my ex is stubborn? Or will no contact work on stubborn exes? So take a quick second and click the subscribe button below. That way, when I have more content that's helpful to your situation, you can be notified. And I often talk about attraction, getting your ex back, mindfulness, relationships, how to be a better boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse to the one you love. So click the subscribe button below and you can be notified when I have more content. And it's important that you should know that I talk about a lot more than breakups. So this is Coach Lee, creator of the emergency breakup kit that you can get at myexpatcoach.com. And I'm going to talk to you about stubborn exes. Now, I talk to clients a lot of times who are asking me, will no contact work if my ex is stubborn? And I want to discuss with you and think with you about a few things relating to stubborn exes. Now, the first thing is that, yes, I do see it work very often with stubborn exes. As a matter of fact, it can even be more powerful sometimes for the simple principle that when people are stubborn, it's usually because they are very determined to get what they want. That's what they're stubborn about, is getting what they want. Now, that may be to make a point to the other person. And so if they're being stubborn, it's not because they don't want whatever it looks like they're not going after, but it's because they want most of all to make a point to that person. Now, why would they want to make a point to that person? That's a very interesting question. And here's the thing that you need to consider with breakups, especially when it comes to no contact, is that the key here is that no contact is intended to cause the other person to lose the ability to expect you to be the one to reach out. In other words, by you not contacting them, after a certain amount of time, your ex will begin to think that you are not going to contact them. And I have a video called What is Your Ex Thinking During No Contact? You can also type the mind of your ex during no contact or search my channel for it and you'll find that video. And I get into some of this, but one thing to take away from this is that the stubborn ex is likely being stubborn because they think you will reach out. And a lot of the times, people in your situation, after a breakup, you have maybe begged, you've pleaded, or had a response after the breakup that in some of my videos I talk about as being less than a perfect way to respond. And I don't fault you for that because I know it hurts. I know you're feeling panic and you're feeling loss. And I get into that at myexpatcoach.com and especially in my emergency breakup kit, to where a lot of times that loss is even propelling you and motivating you more than love. Doesn't mean that you don't love this person. I'm certainly not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes the loss is so great and powerful that that's what's motivating you. You want to get back what you have lost, which is a powerful, powerful human instinct when we have lost something. In fact, your desire to get back what you have lost is almost always more intense than getting something new. You will work much harder to keep what you have and not lose it or to get it back than to get something new. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's usually how human nature is. So will no contact work if your ex is stubborn? If they believe you will be the one to reach out, they will likely be stubborn to make you do it, because we all, to some degree, we want that ego stroke. We want to feel attractive, that we are so attractive that this other person is the one who reached out to me, who chased me down. We all like that. And to some degree, in a healthy relationship, there should be mutual chasing, so to speak. Now, it's not the chasing that you have a negative connotation toward, where you're going after this person to the point that you look weak or pathetic or needy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pursuit, healthy pursuit, where it's mutual. In a healthy relationship, you two should be pretty balanced in terms of texting. It shouldn't be that one person is sending the majority of the texts. It really should be pretty mutual. And the initiation of those texts, it really should be mutual. The game of hard to get usually does not work well at all in a relationship. Now, it may have some implication, and does in certain situations when you're attracting the other person or when the other person pulls away. And I get into that in a lot of my videos. And if you subscribe to my channel with the button below, you'll be notified about those videos, and you'll see more of those videos in your suggested video feed, which will be very helpful. But the key is that in a healthy relationship, we wouldn't be doing these things, because it's important that mutual love, mutual interest, mutual attraction is demonstrated, and that there's some security, there's some stability. That's very important. That's what a mature relationship looks like, and that's what it shows. But in this situation, this person has broken up with you. And so I get the question a lot of times, what if they broke up with me because I didn't show them enough love or affection? I wasn't attentive enough. The point is that, what if I wasn't showing them enough affection and interest, and that's why they broke up with me? Shouldn't I show them that now that they've broken up with me? And oftentimes in the comments on my YouTube channels, which leave a comment, tell me about your situation, what your thoughts are on this video, and my other videos do the same thing. You can ask questions. I try to get to those as best I can. But one of the answers I will give when people ask me, shouldn't I change the way I interact with them now that we've broken up and show them more interest? Because that's why they broke up with me. So if I go into no contact and back off, well, that will just make the problem worse. It actually doesn't work that way. There are different dynamics in a relationship and a breakup, which is what I was just talking about. They are like two different worlds, because we actually need this person to miss you. We need this person to take note and feel your absence. And they can't do that if you're trying to make up for what you didn't do in a relationship. Now, in certain situations, some of that is useful. And those situations are somewhat rare, but they do exist. And I talk about that in my emergency breakup kit. But don't be fooled by the idea that if I didn't show them enough affection and interest in the relationship, that now that they've broken up with me, that I should do that. Because it is no longer appropriate. It doesn't make sense anymore. You will just look out of touch, like you're not accepting reality, and you will also look needy and weak and like you're chasing them. You will push them further away. You'll give them all the quote power. And I do talk about that particular topic a lot in my other videos. Now back to the stubborn ex and no contact. At some point, even if your stubborn ex thinks you will be the one to reach out, there will be a point when your ex will think to himself or herself, wait a minute, they still haven't reached out. Maybe they are not going to. Now, the key is, what do they want more? Which that can change. And a lot of times people will leave a comment on my video and say, he said it's over, that we're not getting back together, so it's over. Or he said that love is faded and he's interested in someone else, or she said that we are never getting back together, whatever. And so they just assume that it's over. Well, consider this. In the relationship, I'm sure they told you the opposite. We'll always be together. I'll always love you. I'll never leave you. You see, things change. Life can turn on a dime. And using the no contact rule is intended to change their heart, to change their mind, to change the way that they are thinking. Because a lot of times when they break up with you, they aren't realizing certain things and they aren't thinking clearly about certain things. They're taking you for granted in many ways, and that's what we want to show them. And if you don't leave them alone, you can't show them that. It's so important. Your absence, your silence is so powerful and important for them to see, because that's when they can really experience what they think they want and learn if they want it or not. So if your stubborn ex says, I don't think they're going to contact me, at that point, it usually, and I say usually because again, we're dealing with humans, it's not a math problem. I'm speaking in generalities based on observations I've had over 20 years in the relationship recovery service. But the stubborn person, again, what they want most at that moment is to make a point to you and for you to reach out to them, because it feeds their ego, and making that point gives them a sense of power. Once they lose the ability to expect you to reach out, once they think you're just not going to reach out, all of a sudden their priorities change. Again, I'm speaking in generalities. Not every person can get their ex back. I wish that was the case, but it's not. But usually, the majority of the time, you can. There are a few factors. The relationship needed to be a good one. You two needed to have good connection. There needed to be mutual attraction at one point. The more history you have together, the more memories you have together. Those are all things that are helpful. And when your stubborn ex realizes that things are not as he or she thought, in other words, it's easy to be stubborn when you think they'll reach out. Pretty sure they will. They'll be the one to contact me and beg for me to come back. When they start to think that you are moving on and they are losing you, that's when that stubborn person realizes, usually, what they want the most, which hopefully that would be you. And so they become stubborn about getting what they want, and what they want most is you. So that's when the tables turn, usually with a stubborn ex, when they lose the ability to think you're going to contact them. Sometimes it can take longer, not always, because a stubborn person also, if they think they are losing what they really want, once they realize what that is, they can panic with the best of them. Because again, a stubborn person has that extreme level to them when they are going after what they want. Usually stubborn people have perseverance to work toward what they want. As a matter of fact, I would even say that much of my success and the scope of my business has been improved because I was stubborn. I persevered. It's based on a strength. Stubborn is usually the negative word that we use to describe people like that. But think about it. If you apply the no contact rule and they feel that they're losing you and they want you, which why would they care so much about making a point to you and wanting you to reach out to them if they didn't want you? You see, we want the people to be attracted to us who we want at first. That doesn't mean that we always want them back forever, because keeping attraction high is important. But if they are so concerned about their position in this and wanting the power, usually, not always, but usually, that means that there's a lot of attraction towards you, that they see you as higher value because they feel that their value would increase by you being the one to pursue them in this moment. So if you have a stubborn ex, or you think you have a stubborn ex, and I will just be honest with you and say most of the people I speak to tell me their ex is stubborn. Most people think that their ex is stubborn. And I talk more about that in my emergency breakup kit, which you can get at myexpatcoach.com. But most of the time, people may appear stubborn in certain areas, but when it comes to losing the one we love or realizing that we're losing the one that we love, we can all become big babies. Because a lot of you would probably admit to me that you're a stubborn person, and yet you're watching this video because you're hurting and you're wanting your ex back. So stubborn people can still feel this kind of thing. As a matter of fact, they can feel it intensely. If you think your ex is stubborn, that means you have to be even more stubborn in no contact. You have to out-stubborn them. Your silence, your absence will usher them to the point where they think you're not going to contact them, that you're moving on, that they're losing you. That's when them being stubborn about what they want can work to your advantage. And I realize that you may still be thinking, not my ex. Trust me, again, most of the people I talk to, most of them over the years think that their ex is very stubborn. And your ex is probably acting stubborn in the breakup because they're trying to fight against you. They have been thinking about this for a long time usually. This isn't something they just woke up and thought. They didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to break up with her today. Or I'm going to break up with him today. That's not how it worked. It was usually months in the making. And so they can appear very stubborn about this simply because they've been able to deal with it. The emotions have settled some. They're more in their logical mind. They're more focused and determined to go through with the breakup. You seem more tender, warm, and emotional because it's news to you. This is brand new. This is a shock and you're feeling the loss. Whereas they've probably dealt with the loss for several months up to this point. And I talk about that in other videos. And again, subscribe to my channel with the button below and you can be notified when I have new videos like this that can be very helpful to your situation if you're dealing with a breakup, or if you want to make a relationship stronger or prevent a breakup, or if you're just wanting to be your most attractive self. So click the button below to subscribe to my channel. Stick it out if you have a stubborn ex, because you have to out-stubborn them. And this has been Coach Lee with myexpatcoach.com. Get my emergency breakup kit if you want to get your ex back. It's powerful. I get lots of testimonials on that, and I hear from people often who tell me that it works to get their ex back. So click the link in the description below to take a look at that and get more information on my emergency breakup kit. This has been Coach Lee with myexpatcoach.com. Thank you for watching.